live stream or roll up a pull up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Tap in, tap the fuck in. Where you been at, Mr. Roll Up? Where them lives been, man? Hey, man, I've been doing a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm here now. Tap in, tap the fuck in. All right, so who we here on today, Mr. Roll Up? Well, check this out. I got 3 stories for y'all that I'm gonna pop at y'all, you know what I'm saying? But the title is about Donya, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get to her last, but it's 2 other people I need to speak on first. How about that? Tap in, tap the fuck in. Black Wolf, tap in, tap the fuck in. Funny thing is, I was thinking about going live too. And Black Wolf was like, hey man, go live. I'm like, damn, I guess it was meant to be. So here we go. Tap in, tap the fuck in. Well, y'all know I'm in the sunroom. It's a little cold out here, you know. So might see the white smoke coming out my mouth, but we gonna get this shit in. How about that? Tap in, tap the fuck in. Now, what's these 3 stories on that you gotta talk about today, Mr. Roll Up? Well, I'm gonna talk to y'all about Mike B, Blade Icewood, and Donya Scott. How about that? Tap in, tap the fuck in. All right, let's get it, man. So, first off, we're gonna start this with the whole Mike B situation, right? Who is Mike B, Mr. Roll Up? If I was thinking, I should have had grabbed the tablet, you know what I'm saying, and showed y'all who bro is, but I wasn't. I just came and set up and got to it, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, Mike B is, well, he was, because he dead and gone now, you know what I'm saying? But he was the owner of a restaurant here in Detroit called Sloppy Chops. Actually, he was the owner of 2 restaurants here, Sloppy Chops and Sloppy Crab. Sloppy Chops was on like 6 Mile and Schaefer area. You know what I'm saying? Sloppy Crab is downtown Detroit. Now, Mike B been known for getting money all through the city, all of that type of shit, right? The reason why I'm gonna speak on him is because I actually had like some type of dealings with him. Like me and him, we wasn't like best friends or none of that. But back in the day, '09, '10 days, he had a club called Club Status. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember the video I made about me and the Vice Lords? We went to Club Status, turned that bitch up. You know what I'm saying? And it was on BZ's birthday. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all the guys was in that bitch. And we ended up getting into it with some Plymouth niggas in there. You know what I'm saying? Some P-Rock niggas. And remember when I said we whooped their ass and left them niggas slumped in the middle of 8 Mile, took their car, all type of shit, right? Okay, that's the club that I'm talking about. This guy Mike B that I'm talking about, he owned that club. You know what I'm saying? That was his club back in the day. Of course, that club got shut down like right after that situation that I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what he been doing since then. But back then, when he had Club Status, me and the guys, we used to be there all the time because Club Status was in our hood. You know what I'm saying? So we'd be up there all the time, right? Well, anyway, with that being said, with us always being at Club Status, I know I didn't shook hands with him, didn't seen him in there. We didn't hit each other with the head knives, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So like Mike B wasn't like no direct person that I knew, but I had dealings with him type shit. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is why I'm speaking on him, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all something about how Detroit move. You know what I'm saying? How Detroit niggas move. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention, right? He got killed coming out of a after hours just a few days ago, maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, right? Y'all can look him up. Name Mike B. You know what I'm saying? Mike Brown, right? Anyway, he coming out of an after hours the other night, like 3, 4 in the morning. He gets shot, and he was with like 3 other people or something. All of them got shot, but Mike was the one that died, right? All right, so Mike B is dead and gone. Mike B was well loved, known all over the city, all that shit, right? Mike B, he been getting money. Been getting money. You know what I'm saying? Been getting money since we was little niggas. He always been getting money. You know what I'm saying? The dope boys cash out, fuck with him. He from 7 Mile. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike B is a known nigga all through the city type shit, right? Well, now that he got killed, everybody's speculating. So it's 2 words going on in the streets of Detroit right now. One is it was a setup. The other is it was for the guys that he was with. Well, let me tell y'all the real, right? What Mr. Roller think about this? You ask me, I'ma say that Mike B was set up. Why you say that, Mr. Roller? Again, what I was saying about how Detroit niggas move. We move a certain way. You know what I'm saying? We don't just come out hitting anybody. We don't hit your mama, your sister, your cousin, your daughter. We don't do that. That's not how Detroit niggas roll. You know what I'm saying? We hit our target. We come after the motherfucker that we wanted. You know what I'm saying? We don't just hit whoever is there. That's not how we move. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand Detroit is small as hell. Everybody know each other. It's a big city, but it's small in population wise because everybody know each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think is if you come out and you doing a hit and you hit the wrong person, guess what? That wrong person that you hit, now you're gonna have to deal with they people. And they people know that you did it because everybody know each other. That's just how it operate. You know what I'm saying? So we don't just come out hitting anybody. We come out, we hit our target. Now other motherfuckers get hit with you, it is what it is. But the initial person that get gunned down 9 times out of 10 in Detroit was the intended target. You know what I'm saying? So just putting you here, if you hear about Detroit murders, especially if it's involving multiple people and this one person that gets shot, that was the target. I mean, this one person died, that was the target. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. That's just how we move because everybody know each other. So you can't just kill everybody and just be like, I don't give a fuck all of them. Like you can't move like that because everybody know each other here. You know what I'm saying? So you fuck around and kill the wrong person, now your ass on the plate. You know what I'm saying? So the whole Mike B situation, it was a hit. It was a hit. You know what I'm saying? Now, I got that out the way. I told y'all about the Mike B situation. Now that's gonna bring me to the next person that I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about Blade Icewood. Yeah, y'all know the Great Lake ruler. You know what I'm saying? Blade Icewood. Tap in. Tap the fuck in. Big homie. What's good? What's the deal? Tap in. Tap the fuck in. Alright? Now, what I was saying that this might be situation gonna bring me to Blade Icewood situation. Why is that, Mr. Roller? Them 2 different people. Well, 2 different people, same type of hit. What I was getting at about how Detroit niggas move. We do hits, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just random shit. We don't do random shit. It was a hit. So what I'm gonna corroborate with Blade Icewood with this might be situation, right? So the reason why I'm gonna bring up this Blade Icewood situation is because now it's a guy named Dogface out here speaking on that shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say on you, right? So let's start from the top. Cause y'all know I'm a real Detroit nigga. I really was there. You know what I'm saying? So I know this shit, right? So let's start from the top. This is the late 90s, right? The street lords just started doing their thing, starting to rap and all that. They get money. Damn, my damn beard keep on going into my fucking lip and shit. But anyway, the street lords, they start out in the like mid 90s. You know what I'm saying? They rapping, doing their thing, getting their money, whoopty whoop. Y'all know about Street Lord Wine, right? Street Lord Wine is from the east side. All of the other Street Lord niggas is from the west side. You know what I'm saying? Street Lord Wine and Blade is cousins. They blood cousins. You know what I'm saying? So when the whole Cheddar Boy Street Lord shit started, Wine was already with them. You know what I'm saying? Even though Wine from the east side, but he was with the west side type shit, right? Because him and Blade is cousins, and Blade was getting money. And Wine was getting money too. So, of course, they had a connection, but they was just from two different sides of town, right? Well, with that being said, of course, Wine being from the east side, he got a connection with east side guys because that's where he from. So he knew guys like Tough Tone, Malik, all of them niggas, right? Them niggas was coming up, they was starting to rap and all of that type of shit, right? With that being said, we all got brought together, the east side and the west side, right? Back then, it wasn't no street lords. It was just Cheddar Boys. They all was Cheddar Boys. It started off on the west side with Blade in them. They was the original Cheddar Boys. You know what I'm saying? When they brought in Tough Tone, Malik, and all of them was the Cheddar Boys, but you had the east side Cheddar Boys and the west side Cheddar Boys, right? So what Blade and them did off the west side, they just let the east side niggas have the Cheddar Boy name, and they adopted Street Lords. So you got the east side Cheddar Boys, and then you got the west side Street Lords, right? Well, Wine was a street lord, and he was from the east side. He was from the east side, so he really should have been a Cheddar Boy. But like I said, he was already rocking with the west side. You know what I'm saying? So he stayed street lord, right? The Cheddar Boy niggas, them niggas was robbing, you know, murking shit, blah blah blah. That's the type of time they was on. West side niggas was get money, you know what I'm saying, being flashy, blah blah blah. So when y'all hear people talk about the east side and the west side, say the west side flashy, the east side grimy, and blah blah blah. That's where they get that shit from, because them niggas started out on that. You know what I'm saying? But the east side and the west side, the same shit. It was just different crews that just gave the east side and the west side labels, but it's the same shit, right? So anyway, with that being said, the Cheddar Boys on the east, Street Lords on the west, but we all together. Even though it was Street Lord Cheddar Boy, it was still together. You know what I'm saying? So they making albums and shit together, all type of shit. You know, somewhere in that mix, they ended up falling out. Why they fall out, Mr. Roller? I don't know. I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas was grown as hell. I was a teenager. So I really don't know all they politics, but you know, the streets talk. You know what I'm saying? So of course I heard shit, but I don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah. In the mix of them getting into it with each other, they started dissing each other. They fell out. When they fell out, basically they made the city pick a side. They like, either y'all rocking with the east side Cheddar Boys or y'all rocking with the west side Street Lords. That's just what it was. So that's where you got all of this east side versus west side shit. It came from the whole Cheddar Boy Street Lord era. You know what I'm saying? When in actuality, the west side and the east side don't beef with each other. You know what I'm saying? In real actuality, we don't beef with each other. West side niggas beef with west side niggas. East side niggas beef with east side niggas. Let me prove that point real quick. Band Gang and who the fuck was they beefing with? They were beefing with Dex Osama and all of them, right? The Chopper Boys. The Chopper Boys is from Dexter. Band Gang is from 6 Mile. West 6 Mile, right? Both of them hoods on the west side, they beefing with each other, right? On the east side, you got Sada Baby, right? Then you got 42 Doug. Both of their crews is beefing with each other. Both of them niggas is from the east side. That's what I'm saying. East side beef with east side, west side beef with west side. It ain't no east side, west side beef. That was just some cheddar boy street lord shit that just carry on with Detroit history. We don't beef with sides. That ain't how they go. We beef with hoods that we got problems with. You know what I'm saying? I know I derailed it, but I just had to make a point, right? Ari Marusi, I'm not sure. I don't know what that is. But all right, tap in. Tap the fuck in. So anyway, with them beefing and all of that shit, right? It was like pick a side. You know what I'm saying? So everybody picking sides. You got people rocking with the west side, people rocking with the east side. Sides being picked, right? So with that being said, these niggas dissing each other. They back and forth dissing each other. East side dissing the west side dissing the east side, right? That's how that shit was going. In the middle of that, the east side guys, they got a guy named Wipeout. Wipeout was the big boss man over there. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't no rapper or none of that shit. The nigga Wipeout was a hitman. He was calling shots. He was getting money. You know what I'm saying? Wipeout was one of them niggas, right? Wipeout got into it with the street lords, you know, over all of that east side, west side shit. Wipeout ended up getting involved, right? Wipeout got involved. Next thing you know, he got killed. I don't know who did it, you know what I'm saying? But he ended up getting killed, right? He got killed at a bar downtown Detroit, like early 2000s, right? So Wipeout get killed. When Wipeout got killed, the west side started dissing him. Now look, I know a lot of y'all probably think that Chicago drill started all of this dissing shit or whatever. No, nigga. Detroit niggas been dissing. You know what I'm saying? Tough Tone and Blade was dissing each other back in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Way before drill rap and all that shit. So if we gonna be technical, Detroit niggas started that dissing shit. You know what I'm saying? Because Blade and Tough Tone been on it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, they dissing Wipeout, right? So now, with that being said, the east side niggas got to retaliate now. So what they do? They ended up running up in Blade's house while he was laying there asleep with his girl. They ran up in his crib. You know what I'm saying? Robbed him, shot him up, all that shit, right? They got up out of there. When that happened, they thought they got Blade. They thought Blade died, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying? What was that? 2004. You know what I'm saying? They thought they killed him. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't. So when they found out he ain't dying shit, Tough Tone got to dissing him instantly. You know what I'm saying? Instantly. Like Tough Tone let it be known he was the one that pulled that hit on Blade. When they found out Blade didn't die, he instantly dissed him. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. And that's how the streets knew who did what, you know. So with that being said, Blade, you know, started getting back healthy and everything. He was paralyzed from the waist down. Doctor told him he'd never walk again, right? So he instantly get in the booth and he get to talking about it. Doctor said, I never walk again. You know what I'm saying? But he got in the booth and he got to talking about the shooting and you know how all that stuff happened. He basically back dissing. You know what I'm saying? He dissing Tough Tone in them, right? So with him dissing, he letting it be known. Hey, they ran up in my crib, they shot me up, all that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Like Blade put all this shit on his album, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Y'all think I'm bullshitting? Go check it out. He put it all out there. You know what I'm saying? So when that happened, They was like, oh, okay, still talking shit. You just got shot the fuck up, you got robbed, all that. You still out here talking shit. So somebody ended up hooking up with Lil Larry. Y'all ever heard of Lil Larry? Um, he was an East Side hitman, right? So word is somebody, paid Lil Larry, to go take out Blade. Cause Blade dropped that blood, sweat, and tears, had the streets going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like Blade was breaking all that shit down. But what everybody say what got Blade killed was a song on that album called Ride On. And in that song, he was talking about how they shot him up and all of that. And he was saying he was laughing that night. Your little boss got flame. I was, damn. How the fuck did the lyrics go? Hold on. I was laughing that night. Your little boss got flame. I was blowing on the chokers, banging sounds in the range. When he had dropped that line, that's what everybody say is what got Blade killed, because he was dissing Wipeout. What I just told y'all about Wipeout, Blade was dissing Wipeout on that Ride On Me song. You know what I'm saying? So basically, Blade was letting them know that they the ones that hit Wipeout type shit. You know what I'm saying? So they had put a bounty on Blade. I guess Lil Larry took it. You know what I'm saying? Caught him at the car wash. Now, I did a whole short on that. You know what I'm saying? I showed y'all on the short, where it happened, at, exactly how it went, all that. So if y'all ain't seen it, go check it out. It's the short I made about, Street Lord Blade. You know what I'm saying? But it happened right down that corner. Broad daylight. April 19th, 2005. How I know this, Mr. Roll Up? That was my birthday. This shit happened on my birthday, my 16th birthday, right? So I'm on the block with the guys, right? We all out there kicking and shit. The corner that me and my niggas used to post up on is literally 2 blocks up the street from 7 Mile. So basically, we could be on the corner and we could look down the street and could see 7 Mile. You know what I'm saying? From where we was at. That's how close we was to 7 Mile, right? So while we out there kicking and shit, we just see a whole lot of people mobbing up 7 Mile. You know what I'm saying? We like, what the fuck is going on? We just see tons of people just walking past. Like, what the fuck? So we let so many people walk past. It was like, man, we see any more people coming, we gonna have to go down there. You know what I'm saying? So people still coming past and shit, mobbing. I mean, a whole lot of people at a time just mobbing down 7 Mile. You know what I'm saying? Not in cars, walking. Hurdles of people. So we like, oh, fuck that. Something going on. You know what I'm saying? So we walk down the 7 Mile and shit. We get down there, right? It was so many people on 7 Mile. It was like the Million Man March. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. I ain't never seen as many people. Well, I ain't gonna lie, I did. But like on some hood shit, I ain't never seen that many people at one time. You know what I'm saying? So everybody just mobbing down 7 Mile. You know what I'm saying? We all mobbing towards the next community. Now, how I told y'all all our, like I said, with the beefing and shit, it was because of communities. You know what I'm saying? If you not from this community, then you the ops. That's how Detroit niggas operate. You know what I'm saying? It go by the communities. And then even in the same communities, niggas still beef with each other in the same community, but they got a respect for each other. You know what I'm saying? But it's really community after community, right? So after the next community on 7 Mile from my hood is the AG's hood. You know what I'm saying? That's the next community over. It's all the same strip, but you got like side streets that divide that shit, So the next community over is the AG's hood, right? That's where Rio Grande, D-Bird, them guys, that's they set. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's where Blade got killed at. You know what I'm saying? So everybody from 7 Mile is merging down there to where Blade got killed at. You know what I'm saying? So we walk in and we like, what the fuck is going on? Like, black people, when we see our people, we going with them. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if they walking or they running. If we see a big ass pile of black people going somewhere, we going with them. That's, you know what I'm saying? Shit. So we just mobbing with them, like, what the fuck going on? You know? They like, Blade got killed. You know what I'm saying? Blade Wolf tapped the fuck in. So they like, yeah, Blade got killed. I'm like, hell no, he ain't get killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just dropped the whole blood, sweat, and tears. What you talking about? They like, nah, man, he came back and got him. Ooh, ooh. Like, came back and got him? Straight up? They like, yeah, man, he got killed over there in AG's hood. That's where we going. Niggas like, oh, AG's like, hell no, because like I said, the beef was on, you know, community at the community. It was wartime at that time, you know, but it was like this shit bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? We just lost the legend. You know what I'm saying? So we was like, fuck it. We just kept mobbing. We crossed Evergreen. Now we in AG's community, you know. So we get down there where Blade got killed at. Of course, by the time we got down there, you know, Blade was gone and everything like that. But it was a whole lot of people out there, and a lot of people out there saw what happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was a lot of people out there that saw what happened. You know what I'm saying? So they was talking to certain people, you know, about what happened and shit. This one girl, mind you, it's like a million people out here. The whole 7 Mile Road is out here. You know, the day Blade died, April 19th, 2005. You know what I'm saying? My birthday type shit. And this is what happened on my birthday. I'm here at the Blade sighting type shit, you know. So anyway, everybody in groups, everybody with their communities, their crews, and all of that, right? No beef, because it was bigger than that. Like, nigga, we lost the 7 Mile legend, you know what I'm saying? So everybody put their beef to the side that day, but everybody was out there, right? The Street Lord niggas was there. G-Rod, Fat Mike, Old Dog, all them niggas was out there. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody all fanned out like, oh, them the Street Lords and all, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't none of that. Like shit, Blade just got killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? So it wasn't no beef or nothing. Everybody was just out there listening. You know what I'm saying? So the people that was around there when it happened, because he got killed at a car wash. Blade was known for being at this car wash, right? On 7 Mile and Foss. It was a little car wash right there. Some people said he owned it, but Blade was known for being up there. Of course, he moving his dope through that car wash. You know what I'm saying? So he was always up there. That was his spot, like, for real. You could ride down 7 Mile and you would see Blade sitting in the range at that damn car, at that car wash, straight up. Like, everybody knew that. But anyway, it's a gas station right next to that car wash, right? And it's always a lot of people at that gas station. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the people that was at that gas station saw the aftermath of what happened. You know what I'm saying? So they telling everybody what was going on. They like, yeah, I was at the gas station. Woo, woo. I heard the gunshot. Boom. When I came over there, the car pulled off. Woo, woo. Like, you know, everybody had a different story, right? So bottom line, what it was, Blade was sitting on the corner. You know what I'm saying? He was in the passenger seat because, like I said, he got paralyzed from the waist down, so he couldn't drive. So he had a driver. You know what I'm saying? The driver pulled up right there on the side street of that car wash. The driver hopped out, walked away. As soon as the driver walked away, the nigga Lil Larry walked up, shot him up from the passenger side. You know what I'm saying? After that, Lil Larry jumped in the car, pulled off, right? Like I said, the people from the gas station, they heard it. And on top of it, back in that time, on the other side of that car wash, it was a Hot Wheels. Y'all know about Hot Wheels. You know, they sold all the rims, all of this shit. It's the Hot Wheels on this side, the car wash on this side. So the people at the Hot Wheels was also talking about what happened, because there was all these people out there buying rims. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of people out here when that shit happened. And it happened broad daylight. You know what I'm saying? it was like 3, 4 in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Like broad fucking daylight type shit. You know. So anyway, when people were saying when they walked up to Blade Range Rover, it was all shot up, right? They said his jaw was hanging like this. No lie. You know what I'm saying? Said blood was just gushing all out his face. His shirt, he had on the white tee. White tee was burgundy. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucked him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. They said his jaw was literally hanging like this. He was slumped, jaw hanging. Straight up. Like, Lil Larry fucked him up. You know what I'm saying? And I could say dog name because he locked up, he convicted for it, he admitted to it, all of that shit. So this ain't no snitching, none of that. Like, look him up. Nigga, he bragged that he killed Blade. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't no snitching shit. All right? Nah. What, like I said, everybody had these stories. They said his jaw was hanging, all that, boom. EMS came, they got him real quick, towed the car, cleaned the shit up. So by the time me and my crew got down there, he was good and gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got Blade up out of there quick because Blade was a known nigga in the city. You know what I'm saying? So they knew they couldn't leave his body there too long. So they came and got him quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. And Blade had real money. You know what I'm saying? So his family, they was on that shit. You know what I'm saying? They came and got him real quick. Like, nah. On 7 Mile in front of everybody, you know what I'm saying? They came and got Blade real quick. So it wasn't likely that you was gonna see that scene unless you was at that Hot Wheels or you was at that gas station. You know what I'm saying? So it was some people that really saw that shit. So what I'm saying ain't no made up shit. It was people that really saw that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So we all out there, everybody politicking, woo woo, you know. Next thing you know, word hit the street that it was Lil Larry. You know what I'm saying? The nigga out here bragging about the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a strike for him type shit. You know, like I said, he was known for being the killer on the east side and all that shit, right? But like I said, that with that whole Street Lord Cheddar Boy shit, it was like the east side versus the west side. So Lil Larry was on there, like, oh, okay, I can get a strike on the west side and by a big name. You know what I'm saying? So he was bragging about the shit. Man, it was crazy. He got locked up and, you know, he ain't denied it. He took that shit. Okay, nah, we got all that out the way. My reason for bringing up the whole Blaze situation is to correlate with the Mike B situation. You know what I'm saying? It was a hit. It was a hit. This is my point, that with how Detroit niggas move, we don't just hit anybody. We go after a specific target. You know what I'm saying? And Blade was the target. It wasn't the Street Lords. It wasn't the West Side. It was Blade Icewood. You know what I'm saying? And they went after him. And they got him. They went after him twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't really no problems with the other Street Lords versus Cheddar Boys. Like, it was really Tough Tone and Blade. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was crazy. But anyway, my point is, it was a hit. You know what I'm saying? That's how Detroit niggas move. It was a hit. So with the Mike B situation, that was a hit. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't no, it was meant for the guys that he was with. And nah, that was a hit on Mike B. Now, I don't know what Mike B had going on. If he was in debt or something, I don't know. You know, but like I said, the way how we move, because put it like this, right? Detroit niggas out on the hit, right? And they come to hit the niggas that was with Mike B. They not trying to get Mike B. They want the niggas that he was with, right? So soon as Mike B come out the door, hold on, we don't want him. Again, Mike B is a big name in the city. Everybody know him. So soon as his big light-skinned ass came out, niggas would have been like, nah. Because, again, we don't just hit anybody. We hit our target. You know what I'm saying? So they would have let Mike B slide on some real nigga shit. Like, you know, real Detroit politics, like, a lot of niggas slide every day because they not the intended target. You know what I'm saying? And, of course, a lot of niggas do get smoked. That shit happen too, you know? But for the most part, niggas that get smoked, them the niggas that was the target. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? So when they seen Mike B came up out the cut, they blew his ass down. Cause he was the target. I mean, his boys got hit. You know, bullets don't got no name, but they wanted him. You know what I'm saying? They could have laid them other niggas down. They didn't want them. They wanted him. That was a hit, you know. So that's Mr. Roller thoughts on this situation. So anybody want to know about how I feel about the Mike B situation? It was a hit. Same thing with Blade. That's how Detroit niggas move. It go by hits, you know. All right, now we got all that out the way. So let's get to what we here for. You know, we hear about the story of Donya Scott, a gangster and a gentlewoman. Yeah. Donya, she was a stone cold gangster, but for the right nigga, she was a feminine woman. You know what I'm saying? Crazy as fuck. Tough still be on East Warren. Yeah, man, that nigga, dog, I ain't even speak on all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I had skipped a lot of shit. You know what? Let me go back. I'm glad you said something. I skipped a lot of shit. So let's go back to the Street Lord Cheddar Boy shit, right? Like I said, Wine with the Street Lords. So he on the west side with it. You know what I'm saying? The Cheddar Boy is on the east side, right? Black Wolf, you know who your man's little Mike is, you know. School Crab Mike. I fucked with Mike. His raps, man. Mike was that nigga, man. But you know, he got caught up on that case. And he got caught up on that case with Malik. And they said that Malik snitched on him. You know what I'm saying? That's the word. So we gonna put Malik to the side. He ain't no official Cheddar Boy. He was, but you know, he got that snitching on his name, you know. I don't know how the fuck Mike got up out that shit. Cause from what I heard, he had got a life sentence, but he ain't even do all that. But them other Detroit politics. Anyway, man, with the Cheddar Boys and the Street Lords, right? So Tough Tone, he keeps shooting his shots at Blade, right? So now Wine jumping this shit, right? Wine beefing with the Cheddar Boy when that's supposed to be his side, but he going against them. All this shit is recorded. Everything I'm talking about, y'all can go find the songs, all that. Wine was making songs talking about how he was chasing Tough Tone down in the streets, Tough Tone running from him, jumping fences, hitting alleys, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had a lot of shit going on, and it wasn't adding up because it was like, why is Wine rolling with the West Side? You know what I'm saying? Like, he a straight East Side nigga. Like, he let it be known. You know what I'm saying? But he was against the East Side niggas type shit. So he made songs talking about, you know, how he was in the club. Tough Tone walked up on him. He gave Tough Tone his gun, told him to kill him. Tough Tone didn't want to do shit. You know, basically he was bitching Tough Tone. Like, Detroit is the original dissers. Straight up. The Detroit niggas originally did the whole drill shit way before that Chicago way. We been doing that, and it's recorded. You know what I'm saying? Back to early 2000s, straight up. But anyway, they had a lot of shit going on back and forth. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit. But that nigga Tough Tone, yeah, he's still in the hood. That nigga ain't went nowhere. That nigga ain't went nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. He trapped in the hood, man. That nigga, he one of them niggas, like, even if he had got the opportunity to leave the hood, he wouldn't. He'd be out of place. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tough Tone is a real East Side nigga. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going nowhere. So, yeah, I ain't surprised to hear that, you know. But, yeah, man, them niggas had a lot of beef going on. But, well, back to Wine, right? So, after Blade got killed, Wine stopped hanging out with the Street Lords. He was not hanging out with none of them. Jesse James, Old Dog, Fat Mike, Rook, none of them. He wasn't hanging out with none of them. Before Blade got killed, he was with them, recording songs with them, all of that. After Blade got killed, he wasn't around. So everybody in the streets got to speculating. Like, that nigga Wine had something to do with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Whoop-de-whoop. Drew, tap in. Tap the fuck in. You just sent me this the other day, so let's talk about it. Tap in. Tap the fuck in. All right? So, now the streets talking. They saying that Wine had something to do with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, Blade. We like, hell no. Nah. They was cousins. Wine was going against them niggas. Woo, 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 woo. You know? They like, nah, man. That nigga back door. You know what I'm saying? This the word in the street. Wine was back door. So, after that word went around, next thing you know, Wine pop out with a new artist. Who was the new artist? KDZ. Kato. From Joy Road, 89. You know what I'm saying? Murder Mac, right? That's a whole nother story, because Kato ain't even from Joy Road. That nigga really from Plymouth. Man, y'all know Mr. Roller get to talking crazy, but it's real shit, right? Yeah, KD's really from Plymouth, but he hopped on the Joy Road train because, you know, Joy Road was on fire at that time. A lot of them Plymouth niggas was doing it, you know, but not to discredit Plymouth, because they got some killers, you know what I'm saying, like real shit. But a lot of them niggas was riding that Joy Road wave at that time, real talk. So anyway, Wine popped out with KDZ. Everybody like, where the fuck did Wine get this nigga from? If anything, Jesse James should have brought him out, you know what I'm saying? Because that's Jesse James' side of town. Wine not from that side of town. So how he even sink in with this nigga? Like, what type of shit was that, you know? But whatever, them niggas came out making hits. Everybody was fucking with the music. Next thing you know, Wine dropped him. Wine stopped fucking with KDZ. Then KDZ disappeared. KDZ was on fire for like his first 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened, but him and Wine stopped fucking with each other. Boom. So then the words started popping up again. Like, Wine had something to do with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just trying to clean his name up real quick. That's why he brought out KDZ, you know? But like I said, he had got his little ones out of KDZ and he dipped on him. So words started resurfacing again. Like, yeah, man, he did that shit. Woo, 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 woo. But couldn't nobody prove it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing stamped. It was just word on the street, you know? So a couple years go by. This 2011, when I caught my case, right? I'm in the bullpen, you know, in Wayne County. You know, they downstairs in the bullpen before they send you upstairs to, you know, your cells and shit like that, right? So I'm down there in the bullpen. It's like 10 niggas in each cell, you know. And it's like a big circular as like type of jail type thing. You know what I'm saying? So you can see other cells, you know, in this bullpen type shit, right? So I see them bringing Wine in. Real talk. The same time that I was in there for my case, Wine caught his case at that same time. So they brought Wine in that bitch. He had the buffs on and everything. Swear to God. Anybody that was there at that time can tell you. I ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? They brought him in. He had the buffs on. He had the Al Weezy. You know, that's the Al was signed. Detroit niggas call him Al Weezy, you know. But that nigga, he straight up Detroit style. You know what I'm saying? He had caught that dope case. You know, and that's what he went and did some time for. But yeah, I seen them bring him up in there, and they put him in the cell by himself. You know, because he was high profile. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew who he was when they brought him in. You know what I'm saying? And this was at the time when all that shit was going on. So, you know, they put him in his own cell, shit like that, whatever. But now fast forward the tape. Years later, Wine did his time. He out, right? Same shit. Not fucking with the street lord niggas. Not fucking with nobody. Like, don't know what Wine on. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward today. Now it's a guy named Dogface. Dogface, some bald head nigga from Pontiac, you know. Detroit and Pontiac is like 30 minutes away from each other. We don't got shit to do with each other. So Pontiac politics don't got shit to do with Detroit politics. So I already exiled that nigga for that anyway. But I don't know. I guess he got a name out here. I never heard of him up until this point. My man's Drew dropped his interview he did in my inbox, and I went and watched the shit. I never heard this guy, but like I said, evidently he got a voice, and he is speaking on Juan setting up Blade. Now again, that's resurfacing again. So like I said, word around town that Juan had something to do with it been going on since slightly after Blade death. You know what I'm saying? So word been circulating for over 20 years about this shit, right? Well, now it's resurfacing again. You know what I'm saying? And it's this dog face guy. He's saying it. Now what he's saying is they got Lil Larry that got locked up for Blade murder. He's saying that Lil Larry is showing letters of Juan writing him. So Juan is writing Lil Larry, sending him money, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And Lil Larry is exposing it. You know what I'm saying? So now that's what Dogface on. Like, he set up Blade. You know what I'm saying? He fucking supporting Blade Killer in jail right now. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, that's fucked up, because like I said, word been going around the street ever since. But didn't nobody really have a confirmation on nothing. It was just, man, Juan had something to do with that. That's just what it was, And now this dog face guy, he basically coming with the paperwork. Like, yeah, Juan supporting this nigga. What's 2 + 2? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, man. So I don't know, dog, but that's the word, Juan set him up, his own cousin, Just go to show you ain't no loyalty out here, man. You just gotta do you, because anybody get you, And I'm not putting that on Juan. It ain't no proof, but like I said, that word been circulating ever since I was a little nigga. This ain't nothing new, It's just now that it's paperwork showing Juan is supporting this nigga. Why is you supporting him? Everybody know he the one that killed Blade, and he bragged about it. And you writing him? What type of time? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. That ain't looking good, but it is what it is. So my whole point, like I said, it's a hit. Detroit niggas do hits. Detroit niggas don't do that random shit, catch you coming out the grocery store with your 3-year-old Tyler and blow you down. Like, nah, that ain't how we move. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still stick by a code. Now, these YN young niggas that's running around doing whatever they doing, we don't got nothing to do with it, I'm talking about like my generation, like type of niggas I move with. We don't do that, So like I'm saying with this whole Mike B situation, he a part of my generation and up. You know what I'm saying? So 9 times out of 10, the guys that hit him is guys a part of my generation and up. And we don't move like that. So that was a hit. Especially on somebody like him. Like, I'm not comparing him to Blade or nothing like that, but Mike B was like a Blade out here. Like, everybody in the city know him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't miss that big light-skinned nigga, So when he came out the club, they knew that was him, and they blew him down. He was the target. It is what it is, So that was my point. Like, Detroit niggas do hits. You know what I'm saying? Flat out. We do hits. We don't do random shit. So the whole Mike B situation, it was a hit. All right. Now let's move on. So with Donya, right? Okay. Let's go back to the year 2000, 2001. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 11, 12 years old, right? I'm bad as hell, all that. I didn't spoke on this, but I'm going to corroborate this with Donya, right? I'm bad as hell, all that shit, right? Like, bad as fuck. Getting suspended from school, failing all my classes. I'm bad as hell. Like, ain't have a care in the world, right? I'm on the block all day with my homies. Mind you, I'm 11, 12 years old. Like, real shit, right? Funny thing is, my daddy raised me to be that way because he didn't want me to be soft. You know what I'm saying? So he had me in the streets at a young age and all that, you know? But I don't know. I guess the shit backfired on him and he later on regretted it, you know? So anyway, like I said, I'm about 12 years old at this point, bad as fuck, right? You know what? Let me bag it up a little more so I can make all this shit make sense. I'm gonna make this real quick and I'm gonna get back to it, right? Back in the 80s, right? Like I said, with the whole YBI thing, you know, they was taking over the streets and all this shit, right? They started over there in the Dexter Linwood area and they started moving around towards the number streets and all that. Then they hit West Warren, right? When they got all up in that area, they was setting up shop. And whoever was getting down was down with the crew, you know? And that's how that shit went. With that being said, that's when the crack era came through and all of that shit, right? It was either you was a user or you was a supplier. You know what I'm saying? My daddy was a supplier. His blood brother ended up becoming a user. My Uncle Al, right? So Al got strung out on that shit, right? He gone. Al was the pretty boy nigga, had all the women, all that. The crack came through, he ended up, you know what I'm saying? So he was strung out. My daddy was selling, you know what I'm saying? The 90s came, right? By this time, I'm a youngin', you know what I'm saying? My Uncle L got off that shit. You know what I'm saying? He got off that shit. Cleaned himself up, all that. Got back to him, right? When he did that, he ended up getting his own business. You know what I'm saying? He was getting contracts with land bankers to like clean out houses. You know, when people get evicted or when they move out, shit like that, people leave behind shit. He was the crew that came in, cleaned up the house, and get it ready for the next tenants. You know what I'm saying? He was getting big contracts out this shit. Mind you, he coming from being a crackhead to, you know, doing this type of shit, right? So he doing good. My daddy was doing good anyway, you know what I'm saying? So they both was straight. Just my uncle ended up shooting past my daddy type shit, you know? So my daddy, he hollered at my uncle. He like, man, shit, why don't you pick up my son? You know what I'm saying? Like, get this nigga a job. This nigga bad as hell, whoopty whoop, you know? So my uncle was like, yeah, big. Brought me in. That's when I got my first job at 12 years old, working with my uncle, you know, cleaning out them houses and shit, right? So I'm working with him. Everything fine. I'm his nephew, so I get to do whatever I want, all of that, right? He had a crew of, 5 other guys. Me, 5 other guys. All the other guys was all grown as hell, you know what I'm saying? They in their 20s, going into their 30s, you know? I'm 12 years old, so I can't relate to none of them. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, maybe like my first couple of days working with him, he ended up bringing this woman. Like he introduced this woman to the crew type shit. It was Donya, right? Again, Donya, gangsta as hell. But when it came to my uncle, she was a whole woman. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. But he introduced Donya to us. You know, she was cool as hell, but like I said, she had that gangster side. Like she was like a man trapped in a woman's body type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like she was on that. But anyway, Donya took a liking into me. You know, like she fucked with me real tough. Like that was my nigga. You know. Anyway, with that being said, she hollered at my Uncle Al. She like, I got a nephew his same age. That's on the same shit. He need a job too. Pick him up. Right? So my uncle was like, all right, cool. Brought him in. This guy that I'm talking about is Wine. My homie Wine. You know what I'm saying? My east side homie Wine that I told y'all about, doing all that east side shit with. This is how I met him. through my uncle's company. You know what I'm saying? From Donya. Donya brought him in. Boom. This how me and Juan hooked up, right? So 12 years old, me and Juan been rocking since we was 12. You know, we only seen each other at the work sites, you know, whatever houses we had to do. We was both the same age. We was on the same shit. All the older guys was on their shit. So it was me and Juan, like, you know, and it got to a point where me and Juan was doing that shit like with ease. You know, when we learned how to move that shit, we was cleaning out them houses easy as hell. So what my uncle would do, he'd leave me and Wine at a house by ourselves, you know, to do our own thing. And he'd take the crew to another house, you know what I'm saying? Like doubling up on shit. Man, me and Wine, we like this, all because we working in houses together, you know what I'm saying? I'd take the top half of the house, he'd take the bottom half, like all type of shit. Like, man, we'd get that shit done and we'd be talking Detroit shit the whole time we in these houses, you know what I'm saying? Work for us was easy. So me and Wine, we was like this at an early age, right? And it was through his auntie, Donya. So with me being cool with Wine like that, of course, I'm connected with Donya. So this is how I know how Donya really is. You know what I'm saying? She just played that role with my uncle, but she really a gangster for real. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, off the camera, me and Wine, we hanging out. This is when I turned 18. So me and Wine been working with my uncle from 12 to 18. So we worked with him for 6 years straight. You know what I'm saying? Like in between school and, you know, summer break and shit like that, little off time, you know, school break, things like that. We'd go work with my uncle and make some money, you know, and this how me and Wine connect type shit. So we did that for 6 years, you know. By the time I turned 18, bought my first car. So I told Wine, I'm like, bitch, I bought this car. I'm coming over there on the east side. All that shit you been talking, you gonna have to prove that shit now. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So he like, bet, you know, come through. Woo, woo. Man, when I pulled up on him, it was history. You know what I'm saying? It was motherfucking history. That's how I really like got my groove in on the east side with him. He took me all around that bitch. Met everybody through every hood, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And everybody on the east side love me. Everybody know I'm from the west side. I don't play that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I'm one of them. And everybody love me. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what a motherfucking time. But all thanks to Donya, right? So, with that being said, let's get back to Donya. So, by the time I turned 18, right? Me and Wine, we 18 at this point. Boom. I don't know what it was, but my uncle, out of nowhere, he just stopped paying us. He stopped paying me and Wine. You know what I'm saying? We was getting paid $250 a week. Straight up. So that's $1,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, just on some sideline work type shit. Because like I said, we got school and all of that, you know. So sometimes we'd probably work once a week, twice a week. We still get $250 a week. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we work the whole week, depending on if we out of school or whatever, you know. So anyway, like I said, my uncle just stopped paying us. You know what I'm saying? And at this time, we had just got out of school. So we had all the time in the world to work. You know what I'm saying? Nigga just stopped paying this type shit. We like, what the fuck is going on? He just hitting us with excuses and shit. Like, man, the check didn't drop, blah, 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 all of this shit, you know. But we know he lying because he was paying the older guys that was on the team. You know what I'm saying? Because they was telling us, like, y'all better speak up and say something. He not paying y'all, but he paying us. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Like, man, my uncle just jumped on some whole shit out of nowhere, right? So I told Wine, I'm like, look, this is about the second week. The second week he ain't paid us, right? I told Wine, I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna give him 2 more weeks. You know what I'm saying? This is my uncle. Like, I'm gonna give him 2 more weeks. If he don't pay us within the next 2 weeks, I'm quitting. You know what I'm saying? Wow, like, come on, bro, don't do that. Woo, woo. Like, man, fuck that. I don't know what this nigga on. I don't know if he relapsing or what the fuck going on, but he not paying us. You know what I'm saying? Make that shit make sense. So I'm like, all right, man. 2 weeks later, still ain't paid us. I quit. So that means he owed me $1,000 at this point. And this is my uncle. You know what I'm saying? This nigga owed me $1,000. But I had to quit. Like, man, fuck that, you know? So with that being said, around that same time, my uncle and Donya fell out. I don't know if the money was getting short or what. I don't know what happened. But they ended up falling out too, you know. And like I said, I'm on the east side with Wine. So I'm around Donya, you know, this off the scene. You know what I'm saying? I'm around Donya. Like I said, this is when I know she a real gangster, because on the scene, she feminine. You know what I'm saying? But off the scene, she on that tip, right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm seeing her off the scene and shit. And she ended up getting with this new guy, you know, because like I said, we done my uncle. Even Wine quit, you know what I'm saying? So we all was done my uncle. So we all like hanging together type shit, you know. Fuck my uncle, don't know where that nigga at, what he doing. He probably didn't relapse, don't know, you know. But anyway, we moved on, right? So Donya ended up getting with a new guy. Man, this new guy that she got with, that nigga used to beat her ass every day. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knew about this shit, you know. She liked that type of shit. Cause like I said, she gangster. That was her thing. You know what I'm saying? So she was into that type of shit, right? So I guess that was a turn on. You know, she had got a nigga that beat her ass. Cause my uncle wasn't on it. He was just a money getting ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? So she ran into her match, pretty much, you know? And they had a lot of back and forth going on. He was always beating her ass, giving her black eyes, all type of shit, you know? And it was like the family wouldn't step in it because everybody knew that that's what Donya wanted. You know what I'm saying? So the family just had to let them do them. You know what I'm saying? But of course, you know, the niggas was on the side ready to go. But the family telling us like, nah, don't go. Let that be them because she into that. You know what I'm saying? So we all had to let them do them because I'm rocking with them. That's my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell yeah, I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm on all it. Like, dog, Wine family, them niggas some killers. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And all of them was rocking with me. So it was the same love. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So we all was on it. But, you know, the older heads, you know, the mothers and shit like that, they like, nah, stand down. You know what I'm saying? So we just had to let that go. So with that being said, she still with the nigga. He still putting the beats on her, you know. She complained about it, but she won't leave him, you know. And it was like we just had to let it be, you know, and it just kept happening and happening. And this might have been like a year later, right? I told y'all, you know, me and Wine had a little spot on the west side too, you know, the Dexter girls, you know, the girls that just want us to come over and cake bake with them and all that. We never had sex with them, nothing. They just, you know, was just with all of that cuddle buddy shit, you know. We leaving their crib one day, right? Me and Wine. We just riding around and shit, talking about this shit like, man, them bitches love us, but they ain't giving us no pussy, woo, woo, you know. But we cool with it because we was already getting a whole lot of pussy all over the damn place. You know what I'm saying? So we was cool with having some girls that wasn't on it. You know what I'm saying? So we talking about that type of shit, right? Next thing you know, we go from big Kool-Aid smiles, all that, grinning hard, all that, to face turned straight devil mode. You know what I'm saying? This is why I got this car. I'm looking at him like, what the fuck, you know? He like, where it? Woo, woo, woo. Boom, bang the line. He like, nigga dying at the hospital. Woo, woo. I'm like, what hospital? He said, Sinai Grace. Now, everybody know about Die Now Grace. Yeah, that's the real name of it. Die Now. You go there, you gonna die. you know. But that was the hospital she was at. That hospital off of like 6 Mile Schaefer area, that's the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? That's the 6 Mile Bronx down area. Then right behind the Bronx, you got the PAs, the Puritans. Then behind the PAs, you got the FAs, the Finkwells. Then behind it, you got the Schoolcraft, the Plymouth, Joy Road. All of it is like in the same area. You know what I'm saying? So that's the hospital that anybody in that area, all them hoods I just named, anybody in that area, if something happened to you in that area, that's the hospital they take you to. You know what I'm saying? Sinai Grace type shit. So with that being said, they don't save a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of shit going on in that area. It's so many different hoods right there, and there's a lot of shit going on. So a lot of people that get sent to that hospital die. This is a well-known fact, and it's been going on for years. You know what I'm saying? So when they said she was at Sinai Grace, I'm like, oh, nah, man, she ain't gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? I already knew it in my mind. But anyway, we get up there, right? I don't know why the nurse let us in, you know what I'm saying? But she did. She gave us passes and everything because we thought we was just gonna be in the hallway, you know what I'm saying? But she gave us passes to go in the room type shit. So I'm like, damn, okay, we get to see her. We still don't know what the fuck happened, but we know it had something to do with her and her boyfriend because we know how they be fighting and shit. So we get up there to the room. One of the family members, came out the room crying. She crying on wine chest and all this shit. And we like, what's going on? And they like, she dead. We like, what? She dead? We just thinking she probably just got beat up, needed a little medicine, you know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. But no, they like, she dead. We like, hell no, what happened? Woo, woo, woo. And, the family member, she was trying to get it out, but she was like, he strangled her, you know what I'm saying? Type shit. Man, we instantly went right in the room, right? We go in the room, they pull back the curtain. She laying there on the hospital bed. I never seen Donya like this. You know what I'm saying? This was a first, you know what? This was an experience I never seen in my life. Not even on TV, camera, none of that internet. I never seen no shit like this ever, right? Her body was like all small and like frail and like, fringed up. Like she was scared or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Her neck looked like, just say it's a pole, you got a pole, right? And you got a rope and you just wrap the rope around the pole. That's what her neck looked like. Her neck looked like damn ropes wrapped around the pole. Her neck was strangled out. Like he had a real hate for her. Her face, it was like big in certain places and smaller in certain places. Her eyes were popped out and they was looking two completely different ways. Her mouth was like twisted, like sideways, like, you know what I'm saying? Like her whole body was like discombobulated, like she was fucked up. I couldn't believe that shit. But they had her on the machine, so it was like pumping her chest to make it seem like she was alive, but she was dead. And basically they did that for the kids, to come in and see her one last time, whoopty whoop, right? But we knew that she was dead. It was just for the kids. Donya was done. You know what I'm saying? Her baby daddy, well, damn, not baby daddy, her boyfriend took her out the game. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knew about this. So after that, wine broke down. It was sad, man. We walked up out of there, right? So I'm telling Wine, I'm like, what's up? What you trying to do? He looked at me and he was like, we just gonna have to let it go. I'm like, damn, straight up, you know what I'm saying? He like, man, we gotta let it go, bro. This is what she asked for. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Like, it was fucked up, but The family still fucked up behind it and everything, but honest truth, everybody knew that, like, this is just what it was with them. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, it led to her death. You know what I'm saying? It was sad, man. But yeah, man, we just had to let that situation go. I don't know what happened with Dog. I don't know if somebody else got up with him. If he skipped town, I don't know. But just what I'm saying for the immediate fam, we was on sit down. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. We was on stand down, real shit. And I know, cause I was there. I'm one of them, straight up. You know what I'm saying? That shit was crazy. But yeah, man, that nigga, he had a real hate for her, man, and he proved it with him killing her. From that strangulation, like he put her through it. You know what I'm saying? He strangled her with both hands. He ain't just hit her with this. He hit her with both of them. Like he hated her. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And it was because, like I said, she gangster as hell like that. So I know she was getting up with him too. You know what I'm saying? And man, the nigga took her out, man. Type shit. So I know that didn't, relate with the Blade and Mike B situation. I just brought it up because, we was just talking about some Detroit shit, something that happened in the city. And, this whole Mike B situation, is going on right now. And, the Blade thing resurfacing. So, I just kicked my thoughts out to y'all about that, before I got to talking about the Donya thing. So I wasn't trying to derail it or nothing, I just had to get that shit up in there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Donya was a gangster, man, but her nigga hated her, and he took her the fuck out. So what I gotta say on that is, if you dealing with somebody like that, you know what I'm saying? If that's the type of shit you into, learn the lesson from what I just told y'all about Donya. If you is into that, like, beating each other up and all that type of shit, or you getting beat on, or you the one doing the beating on somebody, whatever the case is, violence in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? One of y'all got to be the bigger person and walk away from the situation, because if you don't, it's gonna escalate, and it's gonna keep escalating. You know what I'm saying? And it might turn fatal. You know, that's just the truth of it. Them type of situations, they don't get better. You know what I'm saying? It don't go from a motherfucker beating on you to, oh, I love you too much, I never put my hands on you again. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? If a motherfucker putting his hands on you, guess what? It's gonna get worse. You're gonna keep doing it and keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful of who you dating, man, because that same person you think you in love with be the same person that can take you out. How about that? Then another live stream, roll up a power. So get your blunt rolled and your drink poured.